So coming up next to the podium, this guy is this person is a awesome guy. I say guy because I like to incorporate the word guy with being cool, and I got that cool vibe from this guy. So he is a juvenile prosecutor, and he's running for Monroe County Court Judge. Please give a round of applause for Mr. Paul Irving.
Thank you, Rashad. I am running for judge, but that's not why I'm here today. I'm here because I care about the community, and I want to talk about some of the work we do to make this community safe. But first of all, we really need to thank Justin and Rashad for putting this together, and more importantly, for Generation News and Generation Outreach. Our mainstream media focuses too much on the negative things in the city, and it's so nice to see the positive things that people do in the city to really bring out the hope in people. So what's this white guy in a suit know about what's going on in the city? Well, for the past 22 years, my entire legal career has been dedicated to trying to keep this community safe. And in fact, I used to live off Genesee Park Boulevard on Roseland Street for over 10 years. Right now, I'm a juvenile prosecutor. Juvenile prosecutor, I think that's a misnomer. Yeah, we enforce the law, but we're not there to put kids in jail. People between 7 and 15 would come before me in family court. What we're there for is to try to find the best way to get the kids that come in front of the judge back on track. Sometimes we do need to put them somewhere where they can get a little more structure into life, but usually it's, do they need counseling? Do they need to be made by a judge to go to school? And one of the main things I try to tell the judges is you have to order them to stay away from a gang. That's one of the most important things. Where I've learned a lot from is before I was a juvenile prosecutor, for about 20 years I was an assistant district attorney. And I responded to many homicide scenes with the police officers. And I was also chief of the arson bureau there, so I responded to many fatal fires with the firemen. And I was amazed at the bravery of the firefighters and the policemen that do their job. When most people are running away from danger, these guys are running towards it. And to them, it's not just a job. It's a way of life. It's a career they're called to. And I hope some of you young kids that are here today are inspired someday to be a police officer or a firefighter. It's a very admirable career. And here's one of the things I learned from my 20 years in the district attorney's office and seeing so many young people, not much older than the people in this room, shot. Is they'd be shot over things like somebody laughed at them at a party, or one young man, DeMario Moore, waved at somebody's girlfriend that waved at him, and the next thing he knew, he was shot and he died. And that happens because teenagers are joining gangs and getting guns in their hand. And they're not even thinking, they're just angry. And when an angry teenager acts out with a gun in their hand, somebody dies. And I've realized, instead of trying to put everybody in jail, it's better try to get to them when they're young and try to turn their lives around. Because I started to think over all these years in the DA's office, what can I do to keep these kids from picking up a gun? Because these kids are normally good kids, and all it takes is, that's the thing to do. I got a gun, you're in my gang, you carry a gun, and now somebody's getting shot over something stupid. And I started to realize what drives a kid towards a gang. It's when there's nobody at home, or sometimes it's just mom, but mom's working 3 jobs to try to provide for her kids. So she's not there to pay attention to who he's hanging out with or give him guidance throughout the day. And it's really when kids don't feel like somebody's there for them, or they don't feel like there's any hope in their future, that they got nothing to lose. And they join a gang, pick up a gun, rob somebody because they like their sneakers. So that's why programs like these are so important, and there's so many great programs throughout the city. The small ones, I think once they get too big and you get the government involved, it gets too much red tape and paperwork, and people lose sight of what the organization is there for. So I think small organizations like what you guys have here are great, and I've been amazed all over the city. I see them popping up because we need to solve the problem one neighborhood at a time. You can't count on the federal government, the state, or the county government, or the city government to fix everybody's problems. We have to come together in our own neighborhood. I remember when I was a prosecutor, I'd have a murder case or a shooting or a stabbing, and the people that were witnesses were afraid to show up and testify. What about my safety? And I would try to tell them, even in the worst, toughest neighborhoods we have out there, it's only a very small percentage of people that are actually the bad people. Most of the people are good people. So trying to get people to understand in the neighborhood, there's more of you than there are of them. And if you stick together and don't put up with it anymore and look out for each other's kids in the neighborhood, don't worry about trying to fix a problem 3 neighborhoods away. Let's worry about our own neighborhoods, and we won't have the problems that we have. And I want to thank everybody for being here today. I want to thank Justin and Rashad very much. Thank you.